Good morning, everyone. Now, today we are again back with the new slide, and that is page number 29 of your book. Kindly open your book to page number 29. You will see the definition and the meaning of entrepreneurship. Now, first of all, let's go for the meaning. The word entrepreneurship has been derived from the French root, which means to undertake. Entrepreneurship is basically the process of undertaking an economic activity which involves risk. It involves innovating, organizing, coordinating. All these things comes under entrepreneurship. Now, one definition can be done. Whichever you feel like you can learn, I have no issues. But as I told you, I select the one which are easier for you to go, and also it contains all the key elements basically. So I will choose again the first one, that is by B. Higgins. Entrepreneurship is the function of seeking investment and production opportunity, organizing an enterprise to undertake a new production process, raising capital, hiring labor, arranging for the supply of raw material, finding the appropriate site, introducing new techniques, selecting top managers of the enterprise. So B. Higgins' definition, I suppose, is a perfect definition for entrepreneurship. Am I clear? Kindly mark that definition and learn it up. Now, moving on to the next topic, characteristic of entrepreneurship. On the same page, you can see it's there. The three characteristics are mentioned. It's an economic activity. That means creation of value or wealth is there, right? Yes, and then it's a creative activity. That means a creative response to the environment, basically. That is why it's a creative activity. That means if you are introducing something in an innovative form or introducing something new, so you are creative, right? You do things in new and better ways. So another point is point number 3, dynamic process. Entrepreneurship thrives on changing the environment, which brings new opportunities. For example, you can understand why new opportunities are knocking at the door and you have to welcome them. Flexibility is the hallmark of a successful enterprise. You know what? If there is no flexibility, then our organization will not be successful. So for a successful enterprise, the word flexibility is the core element. Now we move on to the next page, on page number 30. And we'll see a chart of characteristics shown to you. The first one as an economic activity, second as a creative activity, third is a dynamic process, fourth is a purposeful activity, fifth is a risk element, organization building, and then the gap filling function. All these things are the characteristic of entrepreneurship. Now let's move on to point number 4. It's a purposeful activity. Entrepreneurship is the purposeful activity of an individual or group of individuals who seek to earn profit through the production and the distribution of goods and services. It also involves a risk in it. That means entrepreneurship make decisions in the face of uncertainty. That means there may be certain decisions which are taken wrong. So they are quite uncertain anytime. Then we have point number 6, which is organization building. Entrepreneur assemble and coordinate other factors of production. That means land, labor, and capital are taken into consideration. They are assembled and they are coordinated together. Managerial skill and leaderships are other very important factors. Point number 7, gap filling function. It is a job of an entrepreneur to fill the gaps between the needs and the goods and services. Like suppose your person is in need, and if I am going to provide them with the goods and services, that means I am filling up the gap. Understood? So I am providing basically the needs of the person. Did you get my point? Now moving on to the next page. Another topic is entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. You can see, if entrepreneur is a visualizer, then entrepreneurship goes for vision. If he is an organizer, then entrepreneurship goes for organizing. If he is an imitator, then the other one is, initiator, then the other one will take the initiative. If the other one is an imitator, then he is going for imitation. Understood? So we go for all these things. Planner, then planning. This is the quality which is there. Risk bearer, risk bearing. Now moving on to the next point, entrepreneurship and management. What's the difference between them? There are 5 differences given to you in the book. I would like you to know them. 5 differences are there. Yes, 5 differences are there. First one, process of setting up of an enterprise is done by the entrepreneurship. Management is only running thing. They don't set up, they run. Point number 2, risk taking. Higher degree of risk is there by the entrepreneur, but management includes only the managers and all come under that, so they get the salary for that. Innovation, obviously entrepreneurship involves innovation. Innovation is not needed in case of management. Profit is the reward for entrepreneurship. Salary is given to a management people. Status, entrepreneurship enjoys a higher status. That means he's a job creator, and management is not a job creator. They are not basically creating any kind of job for anybody. So that point is also completed. Now definition of entrepreneurship on the same page, it's there. Entrepreneur refers to the person who is a senior manager in a big company but functions like an entrepreneur. He's a head of the semi-autonomous division. That means he's a head manager who is actually working as the boss of the company, but actually he's not the boss. He is also an employee of the company. Several senior executives of big companies left their well-paid jobs to start their own enterprises because they were not given the authority and resource to pursue. So ultimately, you need to have the authority and for pursuing you need to have the authority and the resources. If you're not getting the authority and resources, you'll not be able to pursue. So that's all for today in this topic. Now take out the pen and start writing the question answers. Question number 1. Give the meaning of the word entrepreneurship. Give the meaning of the word entrepreneurship. Question number 2. Give the definition of entrepreneurship by B. Higgins. Give the definition of entrepreneurship by B. Higgins. Question number 3. Give any 6, you can write 6 also, no problem. Give any 6 characteristic of entrepreneurship. Any 6 characteristic of entrepreneurship. In the same question you write down, draw the chart in support of your answer. Draw the chart in support of your answer. Next question. Give the difference between entrepreneurship and management. Give the difference between entrepreneurship and management. Next question. What does entrepreneur refers to? What does entrepreneur refers to? Next question. What does entrepreneurship refers to? That chart there on page number 31, yes, that has to be written. What does entrepreneurship refers to? Next question. What is intrapreneurship? INTRAPRENEURSHIP. This time I have changed the word. It is not ENTRE, it's INTRA. Now we have started with intrapreneurship. Okay, so my question is, you can also give the meaning of the word intrapreneurship. Basically my question is, what is intrapreneurship? Have you all written that? Good. Okay, that's all for this slide. Kindly do the question answers in the register and complete the work. Thank you.
Entrepreneurship has traditionally been defined as the process of designing, launching and running a new business, which typically begins as a small business, such as a startup company, offering a product, process or service for sale or hire. It has been defined as the capacity and willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture along with any of its risks in order to make a profit. While definitions of entrepreneurship typically focus on the launching and running of businesses, due to the high risks involved in launching a startup, a significant proportion of businesses have to close, due to a lack of funding, bad business decisions, an economic crisis, or a combination of all of these, or due to lack of market demand. In the 2000s, the definition of entrepreneurship has been expanded to explain how and why some individuals or teams identify opportunities, evaluate them as viable, and then decide to exploit them, whereas others do not, and, in turn, how entrepreneurs use these opportunities to develop new products or services, launch new firms or even new industries and create wealth. Traditionally, an entrepreneur has been defined as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. Rather than working as an employee, an entrepreneur runs a small business and assumes all the risk and reward of a given business venture, idea, or good or service offered for sale. The entrepreneur is commonly seen as a business leader and innovator of new ideas and business processes. Entrepreneurs tend to be good at perceiving new business opportunities, and they often exhibit positive biases in their perception, that is, a bias towards finding new possibilities and seeing unmet market needs, and a pro-risk-taking attitude that makes them more likely to exploit the opportunity. Entrepreneurial spirit is characterized by innovation and risk-taking. While entrepreneurship is often associated with new, small, for-profit startups, entrepreneurial behavior can be seen in small, medium and large-sized firms, new and established firms, and in for-profit and not-for-profit organizations, including voluntary sector groups, charitable organizations and government. For example, in the 2000s, the field of social entrepreneurship has been identified, in which entrepreneurs combine business activities with humanitarian, environmental or community goals. An entrepreneur is typically in control of a commercial undertaking, directing the factors of production, the human, financial and material resources that are required to exploit a business opportunity. They act as the manager and oversee the launch and growth of an enterprise. Entrepreneurship is the process by which an individual or team identifies a business opportunity and acquires and deploys the necessary resources required for its exploitation. The exploitation of entrepreneurial opportunities may include actions such as developing a business plan, hiring the human resources, acquiring financial and material resources, providing leadership, and being responsible for the venture's success or failure. Economist Joseph Schumpeter (1883–1950) stated that the role of the entrepreneur in the economy is creative destruction, launching innovations that simultaneously destroy old industries while ushering in new industries and approaches. For Schumpeter, the changes and dynamic disequilibrium brought on by the innovating entrepreneur, the norm of a healthy economy. Entrepreneurship typically operates within an entrepreneurship ecosystem, which often includes government programs and services that promote entrepreneurship and support entrepreneurs and startups. Non-governmental organizations such as small business associations and organizations that offer advice and mentoring to entrepreneurs, for example, through entrepreneurship centers or websites. small business advocacy organizations that lobby the government for increased support for entrepreneurship programs and more small business-friendly laws and regulations. Entrepreneurship resources and facilities, for example, business incubators and seed accelerators. Entrepreneurship education and training programs offered by schools, colleges and universities. And financing, for example, bank loans, venture capital financing, angel investing, and government and private foundation grants. The strongest entrepreneurship ecosystems are those found in top entrepreneurship hubs such as Silicon Valley, New York City, Boston, Singapore and other such locations where there are clusters of leading high-tech firms, top research universities, and venture capitalists. In the 2010s, entrepreneurship can be studied in college or university as part of the disciplines of management or business administration.
What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? In a world of inaction, overpromising and underdelivering, every second, man seems to claim himself an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone that would never call himself an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone that is happy to work while all others are out partying. An entrepreneur's drug is success. He is addicted to success. And finally, the entrepreneur knows one simple fact. I will make it, maybe not immediately, but absolutely and definitely.
You have to hustle. You have to think outside of the box to make things happen when it seems impossibly difficult for anything to happen. To continue to get up off of the canvas when you are beaten down relentlessly.
Win or learn. I never lose. I will succeed, not immediately, but absolutely and definitely. I will take action when others hesitate. I will think big when others don't. I will sacrifice when others won't. I will dare to dream of greatness when others fear it. I will outwork my competition day and night. I am the captain of my fate, the master of my soul, the boss of my dreams, the king of my goals.
You have to be a leader, to be unique, to be hungry always and never satisfied. Proud, but never satisfied. To be followed by the competition. To take criticism and negativity and use it to build your greatness, to survive the storms and the tough moments, to be humble in the good times. It is sacrificing your today for a better tomorrow. It is living a few years of your life like others won't so that you can spend the rest of your life like others can. That sacrifice, the dedication, the commitment, the discipline. Only rare human beings have these qualities. Only the very best among us. Then there's failure. Because we all know that it is coming. It is human nature. I mean, find me a successful human that has never failed. You can't. They don't exist. The only difference between the extremely successful among us in any field and the unknown, the only difference, the successful guy didn't give up. He found a way when there seemed to be no way. The other guy, he threw in the towel. Failure is simply learning another way not to do something. There are great lessons in failure.
When it comes to success, there is rarely ever a time when luck comes into play.
Hard work, however, always comes into play. There is no greater satisfaction in life than that of hard work paying off. No greater satisfaction than knowing you are self-made. Take action. while all others are sitting on their hands. The great difference between the somebodies and the nobodies very often only comes down to who is willing to take action, who is willing to put in the work, the grind. Are you willing